Hello, my name is Keely Chambers and I am one of Kettering Community Midwives, and this is a short video just trying to explain a little bit about the latent stage of labour, the pre-labour warm-up. So what is it? Well, exactly that. It's a pre-labour warm-up. It is where the cervix, which is usually quite long and feels like the end of your nose, is softening and getting squidgy like your ears. Once it's done that, it can then start to slowly thin and thin and thin, and then start to open, and labour can then really start to establish. How do we know that it is latent stage, this pre-labour warm-up, and not actually labour? So at this point, your surges, your contractions, which may feel like your tummy is getting tight, so this muscle, this big uterine muscle is getting tight and then starting to maybe come forward a little bit with this tightening, and maybe it is accompanied by pain, like a little bit of period type pain or lower back ache, or your upper thighs might be aching as well. So they will only be lasting anything from 5 seconds up to a minute, and it won't be regular. So one will be 10 seconds long, another one will be 45 seconds long, the next one might be 15 seconds long, and that also goes with things like how long the surges last, how strong the surge is, so what the intensity is. Maybe you get a mild one, a stronger one, back to mild, a couple more mild ones, and and this can go on for quite some time. And what we're actually looking for is these contractions, these surges, to be coming at least sort of 3 times, 4 times in every 10 minutes, and they are regular enough that you can set your clock to them. So each one is slowly getting longer, more intense, and actually closer together. Yeah. And when this happens, then we can then probably say that it's time to ring in and get checked over. But if any time you're worried about your baby's movements or you've got any concerns whatsoever, do call Delivery Suite. They will be quite happy to give you some advice. And their telephone number is 01536 492 or 492879. So at this beginning, this pre-labour warm-up, this can take, for some people, just a couple of hours, but other people it can take a couple of days. So patience is your best friend here. You can't force things to happen. You've just got to wait. You can't will yourself into labour, and by trying to push yourself and interfere with the whole process, you'll just drag it out even longer, or start to cause yourself a few problems. So what can you do for yourself? So relaxing and doing anything that makes you calm, and which will then release calming hormones, which will release the endorphins that are like a very sort of can be a very strong sedative analgesia. It's naturally produced in the body, but only if you're not feeling any anxiety or releasing any adrenaline, because then your body will actually think, well, actually, why is she feeling a little bit frightened or anxious? Maybe it's not a good time to have your baby. Maybe it's not safe. So things will start shutting down, and and your labour will be dragged out. Keep yourself hydrated, and you might find later on in pregnancy that if you are not hydrated, you might start to get these niggly things, but they're not going to progress into labour. Eat little and often. So this is a time where you can sort of eat those sugar foods, as long as you're not diabetic. Your body will be doing hard work, so the muscles are going to need the feeding. Keep your bladder and your bowels empty, so go to the toilet frequently. And what you'll probably find is that in this pre-labour warm-up phase, this latent phase, the bowels will want to empty anyway. The body is thinking, I can't be doing with looking after your bowels and your digestive system and the labour bit, so let's get that emptying out of the way and leave all my work to be on the uterus and birthing the baby. Plus your cervix is not very is a tight fit for the baby to come down through and out, so really we don't want a full bladder or a full bowel obstructing that either too. If it's in the daytime, carry on as normal. Maybe go walk the dog, do your housework, just try and ignore it. Like I say, have patience. And wiggle, wiggling your hips all the while is going to help baby. So it's going to help baby navigate the pelvis, get down deep into that pelvis, and that's really what you're looking to do. Have a bath. Again, coming back to this relaxing, this calming thing to allow you to release the right hormones that are going to produce those contractions, those tightenings. And maybe watching a funny film, again releasing good hormones, or doing something funny, putting some music on. Before you even get to this stage, maybe thinking of what music relaxes you and making a playlist, so you can put that on and you can have maybe a little dance to it too. That will help you mute your movements, that will help the baby, that will release the good hormones that we're after. If you haven't got a long bath, if you haven't got a bath to have a long soak in, then you can always go and have a good long shower. If your this latent stage is lasting a long time, one thing that you could do for maybe 10 of your tightenings is interlock your fingers, or your partner can even do this. Lift your tummy, draw it backwards and towards your spine, have a little bend in your knees, and just while your tightening is happening, just hold it there. And then when your tightening's gone, just let it go and go back to your wiggling. So regarding wiggling and your position and your movements and everything, have a look around your home and just see what you can use. Maybe it's your kitchen tops, maybe it's your sofa you can lean on, maybe you have got a birthing ball that you can lean on, or you can just use the wall. Use the wall and then you can wiggle there. Okay. Have lots of cushions around, make yourself comfortable, keep yourself hydrated, eat little and often, lots of hugs from your birthing companion. Hugs before drugs is always the way. It helps you to release your own powerful analgesia that your body can make. If you do need something extra, paracetamol is a really good analgesia for uterine pain. And you might think, I'm going into labour, I don't paracetamol, but actually it is a fantastic thing to use as well as a nice soak in the bath. So when midwives actually say take 2 paracetamol and have a nice long soak, it's not actually that we're trying to fob you off, but it actually really does help. So if your waters go, so you might find that you're continually getting wet and you've got this fluid draining from you, put a pad on if it's continually getting heavy. You can, as long as baby's moving around all right, you're not worried about anything else, there's no rush. But after an hour or two, I would give delivery suite a ring. They'll call you in, check you over, make sure you're all right, and send you home with a plan of when to return if your labour doesn't establish. If the water is clear, if it's pinkish or got a slight straw colour to it, that is absolutely fine and that is normal. If it is greeny or if it's offensively smelly or a browny sort of colour, you do need to ring delivery suite straight away. So stay at home for as long as possible until your body is actually saying to you, it is time to move. So you're stopped questioning yourself, is this labour or is it not? You don't have to ask that. You're thinking it is labour and I need some support. But before then, it's quite safe to stay at home. Just keep an eye on those movements. Maybe turn your phone off so you haven't got people texting you all the while. And just use your home environment to make yourself comfortable and if you've been practicing yoga, do yoga. If you practice meditation, do meditation. If you do hypnobirthing, this is the time to start practicing your breathing and your calming breath. Find things, think of things before you actually get to this stage. What do I do to help myself relax and do those? And think about all the things around you that can aid that too. Cushions, pillows, blankets, nice smells, the nice music, all those things can help you. And then if you get any concerns at all, then you just call delivery suite on those numbers that I said. Right, thank you for listening, and I hope that's answered some of your questions. Have a lovely birth.